Hey y'all, Irish Guy here, and I want to do a review of the Macallan Highland Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. It's 12 years old. It says Sherry Oak Cask, matured exclusively hand-picked Sherry seasoned oak cask from Jerez, Spain for richness and complexity. Rich, spice, dried fruits. And on the back it says the Macallan Highland Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. The Macallan Sherry Oak, 12 years old, reveals the unrivaled commitment to the mastery of wood and spirit for which the Macallan has been known since it was established in 1824. That's a long time, man. That's a long time. It is an expression of our enduring desire to go beyond ordinary, to seek out the extraordinary, and create peerless single malts. Our reputation for the extraordinary is characterized by the exceptional oak cask for which the Macallan is renowned. Sourced, crafted, toasted, and seasoned under the watchful eye of the Macallan master of wood. The hand-picked cask are delivered to the demanding specification of the Macallan master distiller. Once filled, the maturing spirit remains undisturbed in the same cask for a full 12 years. It is the oak that makes the greatest contribution to the quality, natural color, and distinctive aromas and flavors at the heart of this single malt whiskey. When matured exclusively in Olorosa Sherry seasoned oak cask from Jerez, Spain, our rich, fruity, and full-bodied new make spirit is transformed into a classic single malt. The sherry seasoned oak cask delivers a rich and complex single malt characterized by spice and dried fruit flavors of the Macallan Sherry Oak, 12 years old. Whiskey maker's notes: color, rich gold. Aroma, complex with hints of vanilla, dried fruits, and ginger. Palate, smooth, medium, balanced with fruit, oak, and spice. Finish, long with sweet dried fruits, oak, and spice. It says the Macallan 6 pillars. The 6 pillars are the unique elements that combine to make the Macallan so special. From our spiritual home in Speyside, our curiously small stills distill the finest cut before maturation in exceptional oak cask. These casks deliver the natural color, aromas, and flavors of our peerless spirit. And this is distilled and bottled by the Macallan Distillers Limited, Easter Elchies, Craigielich, Scotland. I probably mispronounced that location. So without further ado, let's take a look at this. Now, obviously, a good Scotch, you know, if you add anything, just a little bit of water. So I added some ice and actually a little bit of water. I like a decent amount of water with my Scotch. Number one, it's expensive; it makes it last longer. But number two, I think it gives it a different flavor profile. So the nose, definitely getting the dried fruit. It is so smooth, and then once it hits your lips, you can taste the oak. Definitely get the oak. The oak and the dried fruits pronounced. I'm not really getting the vanilla yet, but then again, you know, historically, back before the pandemic, you know, since I'm out on boats all the time, being Captain Irish Guy, I was drinking a lot of rum. Not while I was captaining the boat, obviously, but when I was out on the boat at sea. And, you know, rum has a very highly pronounced vanilla. So if you're a rum drinker, detecting the vanilla in this, you've got to have a very, what would be the word for it? If I was in a very snooty country club and I just finished a horrible round of golf with a bunch of just really snooty people, and they were talking about Scotch, what would I say? if they asked me if I could detect the vanilla, and I couldn't say no because that would be perceived as weakness. I mean, I really can't detect the vanilla. I'm sure it's in there, but again, being primarily a rum drinker, that's a very subtle flavor profile within this. I consider this to be a very complex Scotch, and I know it's only a 12 year, but even at 12 years, I mean, the complexity of this is pretty interesting. So if I was in that snooty country club and there were a bunch of people talking about Scotch, and I was just kind of the guy, it's like, well, what's this guy know about Scotch? He can't even detect vanilla. And if they tried to really pressure me about not being able to detect vanilla, I think I would say, I would just tell them a story from sea. When I had rum and we got in some bad weather, and, that from that point forward, I can only taste vanilla if it comes from rum, because that was such a dramatic experience, And I'll tell you all that story in a separate video, but I mean, when you're out, several hundred nautical miles from shore, and that storm hits, this is exceptional. It really is. And again, this is just one of the more entry level tiers of the Macallan. So I mean, this is kind of like I guess if you put it in let's just think of a good analogy here. If you compare this to I don't know. I can't really think of it. I mean, it's very good. I don't want to make it sound cheap, because it definitely doesn't taste cheap. It tastes very good. Don't really get a lot of smokiness out of this, and that's something like if you do typically Johnny Walker, you get that very pronounced smoky flavor. This, I don't really get the smokiness. And to their credit, it says aroma complex with hints of vanilla. So, implying that it's not very pronounced. The ginger, I can get a little bit of the ginger. Yeah, the ginger is subtle, but it's there. I mean, I guess you would say the most pronounced flavor in this is obviously the oak. Not just the flavor, but also the nose on this sucker. It's got a very oaky aroma. So, very, you're drinking a fine Scotch when you drink this, because it's got all of these, some of the things are more pronounced, again, like the oak and the dried fruit. I would say it's very oak forward. I'm still trying to get that vanilla, and I can't get the vanilla out of it. But I mean, this is, like they said on the back, and I thought that was pretty cool, the Macallan Master of Wood. I mean, what would that be? You'd be like, so what's your job title? Oh, I'm the guy that does the cleanup. Oh, I'm the guy that runs the errands. And then the other guy's like, I'm the Macallan Master of Wood. So, that is a pretty cool job title. That is a cool job title. So, whatever the Macallan Master of Wood does, I will say without hesitation that he does it properly. I mean, this stuff is, and I'm saying he, that's probably sexist to say that, because it could be a he or a she. So the Macallan Master of Wood, I just assumed it was some dude, but it could be a lady. she could be out there making this fine product. I mean, who knows? But man, this is so complex. So again, whether you drink it neat or whether you add just a cube, or maybe you don't even add an ice cube, maybe you just add some whiskey stones, however you want to do it, and with that being said, since I added a significant amount of water and ice cubes, obviously ice cubes melt, I have slightly diluted it. So, those very subtle aromas and flavor profiles, I may not be detecting as easily as I might be able to if I was drinking it neat. But, this is how I drink my whiskey. But man, that is an impressive beverage. And I mean, that's one thing, whether you're into rum, whether you're into Scotch, whether you're into bourbon, there's so many different varieties. I mean, let's just look at whiskeys, for example, and we'll talk about this in a separate video, but just to kind of give you a teaser, I mean, some of your whiskeys, you got Canadian whiskeys like a Crown Royal. You've got bourbons, bourbons from Kentucky like Bullet Bourbon, which a lot of people don't know about. It's becoming increasingly more expensive and more popular. Very well-crafted bourbon, fly under the radar, tastes great. And then you get into your Scotches. And, Scotches are a completely different animal. And that's why this, the Macallan, I mean, you can go with this. I mean, you can go, depending upon your level of success, you can go from, entry level to, unattainable for a lot of people. So it's a very good Scotch. If you want to impress and just have something, just a good sipping beverage. Obviously, you don't have to mix it with anything. If you mix it with something, you're a fool. You don't have to mix it with anything. It's just so good. Get you some ice, get you some water. And a clean glass. It's so good. Tell me what you think within the comment section below. What's your favorite Scotch and why? And have you had the Macallan 12? Or have you had an even better Macallan? And what did you think about it? And could you detect the vanilla in either the nose or by your palate? Tell me what you think. Be sure to subscribe, youtube.com/IrixGuy. Y'all have a good day. Cheers. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/IrixGuy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.